stop what you're doing and pay attention to this video. And what I mean by that is I need you to actually listen to what I'm saying in this video. Because if you don't, there's a good chance you'll completely fail Project 10, which remember is about 15% of your total grade. So if you don't pay attention to what I'm talking about here, there is absolutely no chance of getting an A in the class, and you'll struggle to get a B in the class. Okay, now that I have your attention, let's talk about what's going on in this video. We're getting ready to start working on Project 10. And what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to give you a general introduction to Project 10 and explain some very important things that you need to keep in mind, or you're going to end up getting no points at all on the project. Let's talk about it. Here are the things I want you to understand and know about Project 10. Project 10 is going to be another ongoing assignment like you worked through the entire semester. For this project, we're going to be recording a month of transactions for a fictional company called Joe's Photography Shop. It has two parts. Part 1 is going to be creating the company file, just like we did with your ongoing project. In that part of the project, you'll be getting all the settings set up so that you can then start recording transactions. And that's what's going to be in Part 2. Once you get the file set up in Part 1, then you'll start creating those daily transactions. Part 1, which is setting up your company, is due April 23rd. Just like in the ongoing assignment, you're going to receive an invitation that you'll use to create the QuickBooks Online file, and then start working through the setup process. My plan is for those invites to go out on April 14th. But if you're ready before then, reach out and let me know. Send me an email, and I'll get you the invitation sent early. But do me a favor before you start working on Part 1. Make sure that you've downloaded all of the Part 1 instructions and read all the way through them. That way you'll make sure that you're ready to start working on them before you click the Accept button on the invitation. Now, here's the thing. I said that Part 1 is due by April 23rd at midnight. If you miss that deadline, you will get 0 points for the entire project. There will be no exceptions and no extensions. Remember, this is your final project for the course. So if you're not meeting the deadlines, you're not going to get an opportunity to continue working on the rest of the project. The other thing I want you to understand is I need you to plan on 2 to 3 hours just to get through Part 1. Realistically, I think most of you will do it in less time, and some of you quite a bit less time than that. Now, when you're done with Part 1, go back over to Canvas, and there's going to be an assignment in there. And that assignment is basically just letting me know that you're done with Part 1. I will open up your QuickBooks Online file, and I'll review all of it, and I'll make sure that you've got everything in correctly. Then I'll let you know when it's okay to continue. I'm going to give you 50 points, and quite honestly, that should be an easy 50 points, and then you can proceed with the rest of the project. Now, moving into Part 2. Part 2 is due by midnight on May 2nd. That's our last day of class this semester. Once again, if you miss that deadline, you get 0 out of 200 points. You'll lose the 50 points you already had for Part 1. Now, on this, Part 2, you need to plan on 8 to 10 hours. To be honest with you, it takes me 4 to 5 hours to do Part 2. So you need to plan on at least 8 to 10, and it doesn't mean that they all have to be in one sitting. In fact, it can't be in one sitting. Because there are going to be places in here that you're going to stop, let me go check and see what you're doing to make sure that you're doing okay so far, and then move on. In Part 2, as I've mentioned, you're going to be entering a month of activity for Joe's Photography Shop. What I've done is divided Part 2 into 3 sections, Part A, Part B, and Part C. And from here you can see where the 200 points come from. There's 50 points for Part 1, and then Part 2 is divided into 3 different sections, each worth 50 points. I know I've said it over and over, but you don't move on from any of those pieces to the next one until you hear from me and I say it's okay. The only deadlines I have on this project are the due dates on when Part 1 has to be completed and when the whole thing has to be completed. If you're going to sit down and work on Part 1 and get it done in a day, way before the due date, that's great. Go for it. That will give you that much more time to work on the rest of the project for the rest of the semester. But if you're one of those students, and we have quite a few of them this semester who push everything off until the last minute, quite honestly, you're going to be screwed. Remember, you have to have my approval before you move from step to step. I'm going to have to make sure you're in balance. Otherwise, everything gets off track and you've screwed everything up. Last thing I want to mention here is, remember, I do not sit at my desk 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, waiting for you to send me a quiz so that I can get it graded. It probably wouldn't be a bad idea to plan on 8 to 12 hours between when you submit that quiz and when I've had time to grade it, review it, and say, it's okay, move forward. Okay, all of this aside, one more time. Part 1, which is setting up your company, is due by April 23rd. Part 2, which is entering all of your transactions, is due by May 2nd. You probably know what's coming up. Do not put this project off. Remember, miss any part, it's a 0 on the entire assignment, regardless of how many points you've already achieved. And I don't mean to be overly dramatic with this, but there are a lot of points riding on this. If you're one of those students who procrastinate and put it off to the end, this is going to be a problem for you. Flip side is, there are some good solid points here that could really help your grade. So if you work through it early, take your time, and make sure you understand it, you could score a really good bump to your total points for the course in here. Okay, I think that's all I've got. I'll see you in the next video where I'm going to dig into part 1 a little bit more in detail, so you've got an idea of what we're talking about.